Good morning. Happy Thursday. I was asked to discuss the recent events involving Phillip Turner, the Battousai, the Turner of Turner v. Driver. I think it'd be more cool if he was the Turner of Turner and Hooch, but whatever. Anyway, the facts as I understand them, not the facts as will be determined in a court of law, were that Turner went to the police station, or a police station, in, I believe it was Corrigan, Texas. He filmed inside the police station, filming and paying special attention to the sign saying that there was no recording allowed inside the police station. He then went out to where the vehicles, the squad cars, were parked, and he observed two signs, one of which said something along the lines of no filming into the squad cars, and the other one said authorized personnel only, no standing around the squad cars, or something along those lines. Obviously, it's not verbatim. I'm not quoting it, and I haven't seen it since day before yesterday. I did look for the ordinance. Apparently, the signs referenced ordinances, and I could not find the Corrigan, Texas city ordinances online. So that doesn't mean they're not online. It just means I couldn't find them. Your mileage may vary. Because I can't read the ordinances, I can't really make a complete determination on whether or not, in my opinion, Turner's rights were violated. Now, I can opine on his statements during the detention, I guess. I don't know if it turned into an arrest or a citation, but while he was detained, he was saying that it was settled case law that he could do what he was doing because of Turner v. Driver. And the circumstances in Turner v. Driver are different enough that Turner v. Driver does not apply. And even if it did apply, he doesn't understand the decision. Anyway, the major difference in Turner v. Driver versus Turner in Corrigan, Texas, is that in Turner v. Driver, the court found that he was on a public sidewalk. A public sidewalk is a traditional public forum. I've gone on ad nauseum about it. I won't beat that drum to death, but a traditional public forum, like a street, sidewalk, or park, is going to be treated differently in a First Amendment analysis than a non-public forum, like a police station. See Adderley versus Florida. So that's your first indication that Turner v. Driver doesn't apply. The second one is it may not even be a forum analysis. Not having the ordinance to read means that I don't know the language of the ordinance. If the language of the ordinance applies everywhere all the time, that you can't be near a police officer's car ever while you're in the jurisdictional limits of the city of Corrigan, Texas. If you can never film into a police officer's car, regardless of where you are within the jurisdictional limits of Corrigan, Texas, then it's not a forum analysis. It would be a strict scrutiny analysis, which is entirely different. So without the text of the ordinance, it's impossible to come to any real good conclusions. Now, if you accept the signs as being representative of at least the intent of the ordinance and somewhat reflective of the language of the ordinance, then my best guess would be that it was only applying to the squad cars parked at the police station, like in the parking lot at the police station, and the police station itself, i.e. a forum analysis. And if it is a forum analysis, then they probably can limit or eliminate recording. It would go the non-public. It would be a non-public forum. If a post office, see Kinda, is a non-public forum, and a jail, see Adderley versus Florida, is a non-public forum, then you could make the logical inference that a police station is a non-public forum. I mean, that you're not stretching on that. And I'm sure if I took time to look that I would find some Fifth Circuit conclusion somewhere that a police station was a non-public forum. And we've had enough people arrested at police stations in this little community that we have, the First Amendment auditing community, that if it was a public forum, as people want it to be, there would be something established to that effect. And there isn't, so I don't believe it is. Anyway, as a non-public forum, what Phillip Turner would have to prove to show that his rights were violated is he would have to prove that there was no rational relationship between the ordinance and any legitimate government interest. And if that sounds like it would be hard to show, well, yeah, it is. It's very hard to prove. If you contrast that with the traditional public forum analysis, where it's, reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, and the government has the burden of proof, not the victim, not. If it was a traditional public forum, the city of Corrigan would have to prove, instead of Phillip Turner having to prove, that there was a important government interest and that the ordinance was narrowly tailored to achieve that important government interest. Now, some people are going to say, you forgot the part where it says they have to leave open ample alternative channels of communications. You show me a filming case where they have used that language, where it's speech, where you're trying to protest and you're trying to actually contact the crowds. That's where that language comes into play. But if you're recording, that language, I don't believe is applicable. Anyway, so without the ordinance, we don't know if it's a forum analysis or if it's a strict scrutiny analysis on the ordinance itself. But the other thing, just always remember, even if Turner v. Driver did apply, let's assume arguendo that it did, you have to remember that in Turner v. Driver, the court stated, which is common, that in a traditional public forum, where you want to observe police officers, where you want to film police officers, that is subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. So I don't know. I don't have an example of what a reasonable time, place, and manner restriction is, other than if the police create a crime scene and it's on a street, it's in a traditional public forum, so I want to go there and videotape their evidence, but that's a time restriction or a place restriction, because while the tape is up, you can't enter in there to record. So it's a time and or place restriction, probably a time and place restriction, because when they take the tape down, you can go into that place and you can record, but while the tape is up, the time, you can't go there. Anyway, you probably understand the point, and I'm just beating it to death. But anyway, so long story short is, I can't tell you whether or not Turner's rights were violated. I can't tell you whether or not that statute is actually constitutional, in my opinion. All this is, of course, in my opinion. But I can tell you that Phillip Turner does not understand the decision in Turner v. Driver. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.